Did you know in Texas that you get one free bite from a dog bite before liability is applied? Let me explain. I had this dog, his name was Louie. Louie was the best dog anybody could ever have. He's passed now, rest in peace, but I had him for almost 10 years, and he was maybe, I think, 16 years old when he passed. Here's a picture of him. Big, fluffy, friendly dog. Now, let's just pretend that I was walking Louie around and on a leash on the sidewalk. And let's just say, for example, he went up and bit somebody unprovoked. He's not vicious looking. I didn't know he was vicious, and he hasn't bitten anybody before that I know of. So under the strict liability sense that Texas has, there's no liability there. Now, let's say that dog bite happened. Now I know that he bites people randomly, even though he's a big poofball. And let's just say a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, walking down the sidewalk and he randomly bites somebody. Now there's liability attached to that. How the one bite rule works in Texas. Beyond that, there are other ways to get recourse if you get bitten by a dog. I had this other case. Remember the movie Up, where everybody built around him and he would not sell his house? That's what happened here. There was a commercial development around this home, and this home was about 3 acres, so it wasn't a small home, small property, it's a bigger property. But the problem was the owner of the home let his dogs roam around the property. The real problem with that is there's a bunch of holes the dogs have dug through, and they just roamed wherever they wanted, sort of in the pack. There was about 5 or 6 of them. And one day, one of those dogs bit one of the workers next door, and the owner admitted to it. Now, if that dog has never bit anybody before, there's still liability. There's negligence to restrain. And though that dog, there's not a strict liability one bite rule applied here, there is a negligence to restrain here, meaning I negligently restrained my dog from staying on my property, meaning the dog should have just stayed on the property and not gone out. And that's another way to attach liability to a case. And that is the actual case that we actually got a decent recovery on. And the way we got recovery was often these home insurance policies do cover issues like this, so that if a dog does get out, bite somebody, and I could put a claim on the homeowner's insurance and get paid that way to recover for the injuries that my client sustained. So these dog laws aren't perfectly clear. They're not the easiest thing to understand. There's different ways to do it. But if you have any questions about it, give me a call. Be happy to talk about your case.
My name is Leon Dacbert of Dacbert Law. If you've been hurt, give me a call.